Hello, friends, and welcome to our March of 2025 astrological preview. My name is Jenny Sellers. I am the creator and founder of True North Empowerment, and I am here, as always, to provide insight into what lies ahead for the month of March. So, first and foremost, happy Pisces season, friends. We are currently, at the time of this recording, in Pisces season. And this is the natural and energetic conclusion to the last 12 months. I realize that the new year is oftentimes celebrated in December as we step foot into January. That's what the calendar year says. But as far as astrological and energetic um, backgrounds go, this is the time of year where we're tying up loose ends and really looking ahead to the next 12 months. It's the time outside of our windows as we transition from winter into spring later in the month. With the spring equinox, really truly does come the beginning of the new astrological and energetic new year, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But otherwise, we are in Pisces season, which is the last sign of the zodiac. And thus encouraging us to really, again, tie up some of those loose ends and really take everything we've learned over the last 12 months and put them into use and into action for the next 12-month period. So, Pisces, happy birthday, Pisces friends. Pisces is the sign that encourages us to really connect with the higher self. We take everything we've learned over the last 12 months and really integrate it in Pisces. Pisces is the last water sign. It encourages us to go to the depths of the soul rather than just the depths of the emotion. Pisces is also the sign that connects us truly to our connection to this world and the next. Pisces is this beautiful, just intergalactic, almost cosmic connection. It's the connection between our human self and our soul's purpose, our soul that lives both here with us physically, but also extends so far beyond us and really encourages us to make those connections, to seek out those connections, and to really feel into those connections as they exist energetically and universally is the best way to put it. So that's the kind of energy that we're wading through. If you've been noticing your sleep, either being more restful and peaceful or more disrupted, that is a common sign of Pisces. Pisces is all about that dreamland, that space that we are called to that exists outside of the physical. And so when we sleep during Pisces season, we either notice ourselves sleeping more fully and more restfully, or we're kind of in that state of dreamland where our self doesn't really know where the dream ends and where reality begins. And that can cause some disruption in our sleep. It's nothing more than us just kind of being called back to home a little bit more heavily than we might have been recently. So be on the lookout for that kind of sleep disruption or, having these really vivid, very deep dreams that you do remember. That's also a sign of Pisces season. And we're not short of Pisces energy. If you recall last month, in April, or sorry, April's where we're headed. This is what happens when you work with astrology. Oftentimes you're living or looking ahead to the future so far in advance. But in February, we had an Aquarius season that was fully imbued with Pisces energy, with a lot of Pisces stelliums and a lot of planets transiting through the sign all at once. March is no different. On March 1st, we start the calendar month off with a Pisces stellium again, where 5 astrological bodies are in the sign all at once, which just means it's Pisces on steroids right at the jump at the beginning of the month. Um, Venus turns retrograde on March 1st as well. And this is a big deal because Venus will spend a decent amount of time between now and April 12th in retrograde, which causes us to really kind of evaluate and reevaluate our connections, both romantic and friendship wise. It's the people that we keep in our world, the people who are closest to us, the pillars of our lives. We might be having some review time with who we allow to have access to our hearts. This is a very normal thing when Venus goes retrograde. Relationships from the past might kind of spawn or perk up a little bit, make themselves known in our worlds. And this will last from March 1st till April 12th. So just know that where we are kind of currently as it pertains to who we share our hearts with is kind of under review right now, as well as what we believe about our self-worth and our self-value. We're being asked to really kind of go on this walk through reviewing all of this. So just be on lookout for all of that between the beginning of March and April 12th. Then the first week of March is kind of big. On the second, we have the sun squaring off with Jupiter. So the sun is currently in Pisces, hence it's Pisces season, is squaring off with Jupiter and Gemini. A square is nothing more than a tension point. It's a 90-degree angle. And so this could be a tension between our ideas and our dreams and reality. The sun, again, being in Pisces, the sign of our dreams, Jupiter being in Gemini, the um, Jupiter being the planet of big thoughts, big expansive ideas kind of coming in. Jupiter is a big thought and lots of head processes, lots of idea formations is happening, and this tension point between kind of the reality between our dreams and our thoughts. So just be on the lookout for that on the second. Then on the third, we have Mercury moving into Aries, and this is the first spark of Aries energy, the first spark of new energy that kind of enters for us. But Mercury is about to go retrograde in the middle of the month on the 15th as well, and it will go back into Pisces on March 29th. So between the 3rd of March and the 29th of March, we have this preview for Aries energy as it pertains to our ideas and our thought creation. Any new ideas we might have, we'll get a preview period between now and March 29th, because on April 16th, Mercury will re-enter Aries. So this is kind of just like a preview period for us. So just take note of things that occur between the 3rd and the 29th, and then see if there's a thread that ties through some of that come April 16th. So just a point for you. On March 12th, we have the sun in Pisces conjoining or making a meet with or meeting up with Saturn in Pisces. This is a big day for dreams and reality. What structures do we need to put into place to bring our dreams into reality, to make our dreams our living dreams instead of just these pie in the sky ideas? So be on the lookout for that on the 12th. On the 11th, Venus, currently still in retrograde at the time, joins up with Mercury. So they will be meeting in the sky as well. This is happening in Aries. And so our relationships and our communications may be under review at this time. How are we communicating? How are we showing up for the people in our lives? How are we communicating with ourselves? Are we being kind? Are we being gentle? Are we being mean? Oftentimes, our internal voices are the most mean when it's directed at ourselves. So just be on the lookout for some of this stuff kind of bubbling up around the 11th. Then on the 14th, we have our full moon total lunar eclipse in the sign of Virgo. It is the first Virgo eclipse of the new axis that we are kind of currently wrapping up and stepping fully into this year. If you'll recall, the nodes of the moon change signs about every 18 months. And when we are kind of in the beginning phases of this, this is a point to make note of for the following 18 months. So this is the first Virgo eclipse that we've had in quite some time. So with this, we might be looking at what we need to release and let go of so that we can make space for how to really build upon what it is that we're trying to build. There's so much more that comes with eclipse season. Eclipse season is this massive punctuation in the course of time. It's either the comma, the period, or the exclamation point, or perhaps the first letter of a new sentence, the capital letter of a new sentence, which is more aligned with the energy of this Virgo eclipse. It's what do we have to let go of so that we can really, truly build something solid? And what is it that our dreams are kind of leading us towards? And how can we build for those dreams? How can we build and craft and create from the mind's eye and actually put structure to it so that our dreams have a better chance of showing up here in this life? Shifts and changes regarding the structures and how we really feel into those structures and how we are building for the future. Those are the themes of this eclipse. So that's happening on the 14th. Be aware, though, that on the 29th, we have a solar eclipse. So 2 weeks after the lunar eclipse, we have our solar eclipse in Aries. And this is the true beginning of this new eclipse season because we are no longer experiencing the eclipse energy. Well, this is the last of the series of eclipses that is happening in Aries. We will no longer be experiencing eclipses on the axis of energy of the self versus those partnerships and those relationships that we keep, which is where we've been for the last 18 months. And this eclipse on the 29th is the final eclipse of that me we axis. It's happening in the sign of Aries, the me, the self, the ego, um the needs of ourselves and how we show up for that in our inside of our relationships. So this on the 29th, we have that final eclipse in an 18-month cycle. So really pay attention to what is going on for you around the 29th, because it is the closing of a chapter in some way, shape, or form. But bouncing back to the 14th is the total eclipse, the total lunar eclipse. So again, that's happening in the sign of Virgo. On the 15th, like we talked about, Mercury turns retrograde until April 7th. So just keep your eyes open for communication hiccups, whether that is technology or actual interpersonal communication, or even just kind of flubs in the road as we're kind of going along. It kind of feels like speed bumps. Then we have a series of conjunctions that are happening throughout the rest of the month because the sun, as we continue to kind of move around the sun, it's going to be making all of these conjunctions along the way with that Pisces stellium that we discussed. So on the 17th, we have the sun conjoining or meeting up with the north node in Pisces. This will bring forward a wave of eclipse energy because the north node is one of the nodes that dictates where the eclipses happen. Then on the 19th, the sun meets up with Neptune in Pisces. Be on the lookout for dreams kind of manifesting for us that day, as well as having struggles with sleep, because Neptune is one of the modern rulers of Pisces. So, with the sun kind of shining bright on some of those dreams, we might have some significant issues with sleep around the 19th of the month. Then on the 20th, the sun moves out of Pisces and into Aries. This is what's known as the astrological new year. So happy new year, guys. On March 20th, the sun will move from Pisces into Aries, signifying a brand new 12-month cycle as it relates to the zodiac. So happy new year. This is a wonderful day to set intentions and to dream big and to send those wishes into the night sky. On the 22nd, the sun meets up with Venus in Aries. Again, we are kind of marching straight around all of these meetups. On the 24th, the sun meets up with Mercury, which is currently retrograde at that time in Aries. And then the 27th, we have Venus kind of meeting up with Neptune. There's just all of these really kind of crazy things happening towards the end of the month. Then again, on the 29th, we have the solar eclipse in Aries. Again, that final solar eclipse in Aries. So March of 2025, astrologically speaking, is demanding a lot from us. So just be on the lookout for an intense month, whether that means challenging intense or blessings intense. It will happen for you the way it's going to happen for you. And the final thing that needs to be noted is on the 30th, we have Neptune moving into Aries. This is a very, very big deal because it has not been in Neptune, the planet of dream states, of lots of big transformation and changes. It takes 165 years for Neptune to make its orbit around the sun. So that means it stays in a given sign for about 14 years. So to put this into perspective, Neptune has not been in Aries since 1861, which is around the time when the Civil War was happening. Put that in your pipe and smoke on it for a little bit. Chew on that for a little bit. It's not to say that we're headed for the same thing. It just means that there's a lot of turmoil and transition afoot, and it's up to us to figure out exactly how we want to go about handling that. Again, kind of putting this into perspective, Neptune entered Pisces in April of 2011. So find that thread back to what was going on in your world in 2011 and how that might also um, be kind of wrapping up for you here at the end of its time in Pisces, because it's about to go into a new space of Aries here on March 30th. So this kicks off a 14-year cycle. Um, Again, it's around the time of the astrological new year. What is it that we want to wish for, hope for, and really bring afoot as it pertains to the next 14 years and our dreams, and transformation and change, because it's all within us to really plant the seeds at this time and then it'll be on us for the next 14 years to really water and harvest and tend to those seeds so that we can harvest our dreams into reality. So keep that all in mind as the end of the month transpires, and just know that again, March has the ability to be very intense regardless of how that shows up for you. It could be both positive and negative. It could be all positive. It could be more challenging than positive. Just know that it is all happening and unfolding exactly as it should for you during this intense month of 2025. Good luck. Reach out if I can be of help. This is a great time to really focus on self care and rebalancing your energy. I'm always available for virtual and in person Reiki sessions to help really align and balance that energy for you as we kind of walk through this intense period. So have a good one. Good luck, and I'll see you next month.